In today's edition of our podcast, we are honored to have Mr. Christoph Koster, the CEO of Ruya Bank. Welcome, Mr. Christoph.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, Christoph, we'll start with you. How did it all started? Tell us a little bit about your background and how did your journey started with Ruya?
Okay, sure. So I came to the UAE about 15 years ago, 2010, 2011. I spent most of that time since then with Emirates NBD for about a decade in its private banking and asset management department. And then I had a stint in Abu Dhabi, which was very interesting, across Abu Dhabi government and G42 over the past 3 years. And then about a year ago, we started with Ruya. And when I had the discussions first with the shareholders and promoters of Ruya, we had this idea of setting up a digital Islamic bank for the community out of the UAE and for the UAE. And it captured my imagination, and I was impressed by the vision of the founders and the shareholders. I was, from that moment on, I was on fire, and we started about a year ago building it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing such impressive background about yourself. Grow from Dubai is a comprehensive ecosystem which helps companies, startups, and entrepreneurs to establish and grow their business from Dubai. So, taking what you have said about Ruya being the first Islamic digital bank in the UAE and your values actually to empower businesses, people, and communities to be able to achieve their goals, tell us a little bit about Ruya. How did it start?
Of course. So Ruya is really built on 3 fundamental pillars. It's a digital-first Islamic community bank in the UAE. And what we mean by that is, talking about digital first, we've set up a bank in the 21st century in 2024, and it had to be mobile native and digital native, but it shouldn't be digital only. The reason why we've chosen this hybrid approach is for people to still have a place where they can connect with us, where they can have a human connection with actual people, not AI chatbots or just an app. So we've chosen this hybrid approach of having this mobile first and digital native banking experience where you open your account in 3 minutes with just UAE Pass, no paperwork, no salary certificates, no passports, no nothing, just your UAE Pass, and it's available immediately within 3 minutes. And you do all of your day-to-day transactions and everything that you want on the app, which we've designed from the ground up. But at the same time, we have our community centers, formerly called bank branches. Our first one is in Ajman, which is where our headquarters and main office is. But we're building more in Abu Dhabi, and we have a presence in Dubai as well. So we seek to cover the entire UAE with a hybrid approach between mobile, digital, and physical at the same time. Because I believe also in a post-pandemic era, it is important for people to have the ability to connect with human beings, whether they call us on the call center, whether they want to walk into one of our community centers to learn, to experience the brand, to get educated on financial literacy, whatever the case may be. But we have that ability to connect with our community in a physical space as well. They don't have the appearance of a typical bank branch that you would think about. This ground floor building somewhere in Dera or Satwa in Dubai, where you take a token number and then bing, and then you come and fill a piece of paper. It looks like an Apple store where people can experience the brand and connect with us. So that's a digital first approach. As an Islamic bank, we're built on the foundation and on the fundamental principles and values of the Islamic economy and Islamic finance. And what that means is we seek to do everything in a social, transparent, and fair manner. So we treat our customers truly as partners. We share profits and losses with our customers. And that is one of the fundamental principles of Islamic finance, which means that we don't just give interest. In fact, interest is one of the things that is prohibited in Islamic finance, but we let our customers share into our profits. So if you put a deposit with us as a bank, whatever we generate in terms of profits, you get a fixed share of that. If we do well, you get more. If we don't do so well, you get less. And vice versa. If we invest in a business, into an SME or into a corporate company, if we just don't give a loan and charge interest on it, but we invest in that business and we share into the profits and losses of that company. So that's our second pillar. as an Islamic bank. And the last one is the community aspect of it. And we're a community bank. What does community bank mean? It means that we are welcoming the entire community, everybody from the CEO to the driver, that we're non-discriminative in our approach, and that counts on both for individuals as well as for businesses and SMEs, that we welcome everyone and that we give back to the community, that we see ourselves as a community service and as a utility really, and not a privilege of being able to have a bank account.
Amazing. And what is so unique about Ruya Bank? How do you differentiate yourself among the competition that is happening in the market currently?
So I think competition is always good for the customer at the end of the day. Being a digital-first Islamic community bank is a unique proposition in and of itself in the UAE, and in fact we're the first digital Islamic bank in the entire region. And I think that in itself, to be able to transport traditional Islamic banking values into the 21st century and package them in a digital native and mobile first experience that is available for customers at their fingertips, in itself is the proposition that we stand for. And at the same time, we made it a point to be truly embedded in our community, to be accessible to the community. And one of the examples, the way we're achieving this is that we don't require any minimum balance requirement, both from individuals or from SMEs. So we're truly a bank that is there for everyone, that invests in the community and has a presence in the community.
So Christoph, how did Ruya actually started, and where did the interesting name Ruya came from? If you can tell us a little bit about the history.
Right. So the name Ruya is a wordplay on the Arabic word for vision or dream, which is Ruya. So we took the name as an inspiration and derived from it what is our vision, our dream, and how we want to achieve our goals and objectives for this digital Islamic community bank. And that's how we came up with the name Ruya. It works across multiple different languages, in Arabic, even in Turkish, in English. It was that's how it stuck. And it started with a Ramadan tent conversation almost 2 years ago. In 2023, April 2023. And then came on board really in November, December 2023. And then we started building for about 6 months, and we launched to the public in April 2024 with our individual retail banking proposition. So we started just about 8 months ago, opening up for individuals. So that has been going for about 8 to 9 months now. Alhamdulillah, we've been very blessed with a lot of positive feedback across the market and a lot of interest from our customers. And then in October, November last year, so just about 3 months ago, we started opening up our business banking. So our business banking specifically follows the same ethos that we've derived and the same vision for our individual banking of no minimum balance requirement, no hidden fees or charges, simple language, and the ability to open it up and offer it to everybody. So our business banking specifically is designed for your freelancers, and startups and entrepreneurs, micro, small and medium-sized SMEs. Specifically those companies, entrepreneurs, that on the one hand are the backbone of the economy. So SMEs, I believe in the UAE we have about 1 million SMEs right now. They are the largest employer in the country and are the backbone of any developed economy. But at the same time, that very segment has historically had a lot of difficulties getting a bank account, maintaining a bank account, and keeping the cost of a bank account to a low level.
Amazing. And that, I think, reflects very well on your values, the bank values, and being the first Islamic digital bank in UAE, and your values being to empower actually the individuals, businesses, and the community to achieve their goals. So I think this reflects very well on your uniqueness in that perspective. So how would you differentiate actually yourself? What differentiates you from other digital banks who are today available in the market? And there is, of course, as you know, a huge competition when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I think, again, competition is good for the customer at the end of the day because it gives customers a choice. And specifically in the SME and business banking market, we're differentiating ourselves by being true to our underlying values of an ethical Islamic bank that is there for the community. So we're available to everyone, from the freelancers and SMEs and small businesses and entrepreneurs, in order to be able to give them a service, a community service, to be able to manage their finances.
Speaking about SMEs and having you as an expert today with us, what would be your advice for those entrepreneurs and SMEs who wants to start their financial planning journey?
It's a very loaded question. Look, every entrepreneur's journey is different. Everybody's challenges are different. But there are a few things that we're seeing on an ongoing basis. For most entrepreneurs and startups, SME owners, managing their finances is not their core business. Yeah, they are a creative agency. They are an online e-commerce store. They are an artisan producing candles and selling them on white market, right? But managing finances is not their core strength, or it will be for very, very few. And many of these startups, entrepreneurs, especially if they're freelancers or 2-3 person companies, having a finance manager or a dedicated CFO is not something that they have from day one. That'll come at a later stage. So being able to manage their finances is something that is new for most entrepreneurs, startup or SME owners. And if I had just one piece of advice, it would probably be to manage your cash flow. Yeah, because you usually know very well what your outgoings are. Yeah, when you have to pay rent, when you have to pay salaries of your employees, if you do have them already, when you have to pay your suppliers for materials, when you have to pay your MS Office subscription license. But you usually don't know exactly when money is coming in from your customers. And especially when you have a service-based business where you have larger customers and invoices that come in infrequently and not in very set intervals. Then it can become very difficult for companies to manage their cash flows, because all of a sudden they might find themselves in a situation where they have a large invoice to pay, but don't have enough money in the bank to be able to pay it with, because money from that big contract that you had just hasn't come in yet. So to manage your cash flows and to have enough buffer in there to be able to go through periods where your customer pays you later than you originally anticipated is crucial in order to be able to make payroll or to make your rent and pay your suppliers.
As you know, now digital banking became a game changer for entrepreneurs and SMEs and for companies in general. So as an expert in this field, how would you identify the challenges, or if we can call it the pain points, for people or for companies when it comes to banking?
So SMEs, entrepreneurs, startups specifically, and we're seeing more and more coming into the market, and the UAE, both in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and in other places as well, in Ajman and Sharjah, there's more and more startups being born, also the Silicon Valley type of technology startups. And traditionally, they've had a lot of problems getting a bank account, maintaining a bank account. So it started with getting a bank account in the first place. Many banks just turned entrepreneurs and startups away and said, thank you very much, but I don't want your business. Yeah. But as an entrepreneur, in order to be able to receive money from your customers, being able to pay your employees and pay rent and pay your suppliers, you need a bank account.
Of course.
Yeah. But getting one in the first place is a challenge. If you then do get one, it takes 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 6 months to activate it and to get it opened. Now imagine you set up a new business and you, mashallah, have the first customers, they want to pay you, but you can't receive money because you don't have a bank account. That puts you and your business into real trouble. And then if you end up getting a bank account, finally, you then have to maintain 250,000 dirhams or 500,000 dirhams of minimum balance in your account. And as an entrepreneur, you have to worry about a lot of other things of building a business, building a loyal client base, building out your product and building a market presence. You don't have to worry about keeping money in your account, right? Money that you cannot invest in your business, that you cannot work with. So what digital banking and technology has allowed us to do is to open up business banking to freelance companies, one-person freelance companies, SMEs, startups, entrepreneurs, micro, small businesses. Everything from your fancy tech startups all the way to the bacala around the corner. And technology has allowed us to reduce cost to a point where it's economical to open bank accounts for all of these companies without a minimum balance requirement. So with Ruya, you can open your business banking account. You have to keep not 1 dirham, but zero in the account. Yeah. Because we believe that entrepreneurs and businesses have other things to worry about and have other challenges and need their working capital to put it into their business rather than keeping it locked up in their bank account. And so technology is that great equalizer, I call it, that has allowed us both on the individual side and on the SME side, more specifically, to open it up to the entire community by reducing costs drastically.
I love the idea that I feel that actually Ruya Bank is catered towards SMEs and startups. It's amazing. I feel everything, the ecosystem evolves around actually empowering this type of or this category of companies.
It is, and the UAE has made tremendous strides over the past couple of years of strengthening its SME ecosystem and building up a startup and entrepreneur culture in the country. And we're a civil servant. We're a community service provider to give that. And I believe banking shouldn't be a privilege. You shouldn't have to apply for it and ask and beg and please give me a bank account. It's a utility. If you open up a business and you rent an office, you get your water supply and you get your electricity supply, and banking is just the same.
Exactly.
It's a utility. It's a community service that we provide in the most comfortable and convenient and most innovative way. But at the end of the day, it is what we believe is a utility.
Beautiful way of stating it, to be honest. So, Christoph, out of curiosity, what does the individual or a company gets when we open a bank? For example, if I go and open a bank account, what do I get? Do we get an IBAN, of course?
Yeah.
Credit card. Can you please elaborate a little bit on this?
Of course. So you get a fully functioning bank account. And for 95% of all companies, what do you need? You need to be able to get paid by your customers. You need to be able to pay your employees if you have some already. And you need to be able to pay your rent and utilities and your suppliers. And you can do all of that with your Ruya Bank account. So it's a fully functioning current account with your checkbooks and your debit cards. You can withdraw cash anywhere in the country from any of the ATMs in the country. You can deposit cash if you have any across any of the 140 Lulu Exchange financial centers, one of our partners, where you can deposit your cash. And we're currently building out more and more products that we will introduce to the market over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. Some of it includes obviously credit card as well for businesses. It also includes international remittances to over 78 countries seamlessly, instantly. And it includes, and that's something that we're particularly excited to work towards, is business finance. As I said in the beginning, 95% of businesses, especially young businesses, need to get paid by their customers, need to pay their suppliers and their staff, and not much more than that. But as you grow and as your cash flow needs become more complex, and by the way, that is one of the main challenges for entrepreneurs, is to manage their cash flows. And if there's one thing that I think they have to concentrate on, is managing their cash flows in a way that doesn't get them into financial troubles. In order to help businesses with that, we will introduce business finance. Business finance in a very uncomplicated and unbureaucratic way, where a small business says, look, I need a short-term bridge of 500,000 dirhams, 750,000, 2 million, just to be able to bridge now my cash flow over the next 3 or 6 months. And we're making use of the latest technology that is available in the market, which is AI-driven credit assessments. And that has allowed us to do credit assessments of SMEs who don't have a long credit history, who don't have pristine credit scores and 3 years of audited financials and all of the bureaucracy and paperwork that is usually needed for business loans. We have cut across and cut out a lot of that bureaucracy and use AI financial health scores that allow us to be able to say, we believe that your business, based on the transactions that you've had, based on your customer payment behavior, based on where you're based. If you're made free zone, obviously you get a better credit score. And I'm just joking. So those AI tools have allowed us to revolutionize AI credit assessment for companies, and that will allow us to finance businesses, early stage businesses, young businesses, small businesses that usually would have a lot of difficulties getting business finance.
And what would be your advice for entrepreneurs and startups in order to maximize their investments?
Again, a loaded question. And look, everybody's business is different. Everybody's circumstances are different. But I think as a new business, as a startup, as an entrepreneur, I think there are two main things that are incredibly important. One is you have to build a product or service that people actually want, right? So you want to invest in your what we call a product market fit, right? Where you have a product or service that actually sees demand in the market. And you need to be able to spend a lot of time and money and resources and efforts and almost obsess about fine-tuning your product and service in a way that resonates with a demand that is there in the market. That is number one. Do good things, right? Number two is talk about it, right? You need to be able, for people to know, you need to be able to have a marketing, advertising, word of mouth, social media followership. There is a million and one ways today, but you need to be able to get the word out. So you have to have a beautiful product or service, and you need to be able to let people know about it. Right? So those are the two areas that I think, and where we have invested the most. I mean, we are a startup, just as a lot of the businesses that bank with us. We are about 9 months old, and we have spent most of our time and efforts and resources and attention to building a beautiful product and making sure that people know about it.
Thank you so much, Christoph, for this amazing conversation, which I personally benefit from today, and the insightful details that you have shared, which I think any startup or any entrepreneur starting their business, if they listen to this podcast, will take a lot of takeaway with them. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for our next GFD podcast.